Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another pre-market watch list here today. Hope you guys are going to enjoy this watch list today. We do have quite a few stocks to go over. I'm going to make it as quick as possible. That way, at least towards the end, we do have a little bit of time to hopefully touch on a few stocks you guys want to look at. Alrighty. So let's wait a few seconds here till some people get in, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. So hopefully everybody had a good trading day yesterday. I ended up losing. What did I end up losing yesterday? I ended up losing. Well, I guess I didn't really lose. Oh yeah, I did lose. I was like $30, I think. So good morning to you guys, Bisley, Scott, Jeremy, some familiar faces. Glad to have you in. So today we're really going to be talking. We're going to touch on the market. We're going to touch on a few penny stocks that I think may be worth watching. More of some speculative plays, just because I haven't had a lot of penny stocks on here as recently. So I'm trying to incorporate some penny stocks, some larger cap stocks, trying to give you guys a little bit more to play with here. So let's go ahead and get started here. All right, 1 second, and it will share the screen. That's the one. All right, cool. So by now you should be able to see the screen. So we're going to start running through some, we're going to start with the penny stocks. We're going to go through some of these real fast. So the first one I'd like to consider trading is I. This is one we mentioned. I think we mentioned it yesterday. I'm not positive, but I was one we mentioned yesterday. It's continued to keep going for multiple days. Normally, and actually I'm saying it right now, is that it is really extended, right? This price action is really extended. The price is up here, but the support is right there. So there's a big space to fill. So that essentially is all the risk, right? So there's a lot of risk involved with I right now to be in long, because it has a lot of room it could come down. Nonetheless, if you look at this chart, you also see that the stock I is running into some major resistance here at 660, and then it also has some more resistance above that at at 750, right? So this thing is pushing into some territory that previously, before, we didn't like. Sure, maybe the dump was due to earnings. Sure, maybe the dump was due to bad news, but for whatever reason, the price action on Intelsat definitely dumped around the 650 and the 750 area, which leads me to believe that we're probably going to start seeing a little bit of a pullback. Maybe, maybe not, but we'll see. So the stock I is definitely on our watch list here this morning. And if you look at, let's just use a 5-day chart, we've been continuously grinding up. So it does have a really nice, steady, if my charts, there we go. It does have a pretty good steady uptrend that it's following. And then, every day it closes right, it closes very high near the closing price. So I think we might see some continuation on this one today, but honestly, I'm going to be a little bit hesitant to jumping in long, just because we're more susceptible to a pullback than we are to continue riding up. So I do want to watch I think what I want to end up doing is seeing, this is what I'm looking for. I think that it might be a good idea to hop in long, possibly today, because if this continues going up, it's very possible that there were short sellers in here and in here. And if they shorted, their stop losses are going to be right around this area. And if they're still holding short, they'll probably end up getting squeezed out over this. So you might actually see a nice pop on the stock I in the coming days. All right, so just keep that on your watch list. I think it might be a strong one to even play today. All right, let's see. Let's see, 1 second. All right, so on the next one, we'll talk about KONE. Not that this is my favorite, but KONE got halted a few times yesterday and ended up kind of ripping. So for the past 2 days, it's had some monster days, right? So, you know, on Monday, or was that Monday? It was Tuesday's trading. We had it pop up, got halted. Then yesterday it popped up, got halted. It's very possible that we might see that same action today. Don't bank on it. Do not bank on KONE running like it did the past 2 days. That would be less likely, but it is possible we may see that same type of movement. So we're going to watch KONE because, you know, so far for 1 and 2 days, it's done this kind of movement. So we might be able to see that same similar movement today. There's no particular entry price that I would like to buy in. It's more or less this is just going to be on your watch list. And if you see some value, you think it's starting to take off, then you're going to jump in on it. But you're going to have to be careful because it did get halted, right? And halts are not the easiest thing to trade, especially if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner trader, you're best off just staying away from KONE, all right? 1 second. All right, then on the next we have, next on the list here for some penny stocks is TNDM. Now I kind of really like TNDM, right? So let's look at this yearly chart. If you look at TNDM, it's steadily been grinding up, and honestly, I should have been looking at this one a while ago, but you know, it is what it is. So if you look at the yearly chart on not KONE, but if you look at the yearly chart on TNDM, you'll notice that back over here, there wasn't really any volume, right? There wasn't too much volume, but now we're starting to see volume here, right in that area. Okay, so volume is starting to increase here. The chart is starting to look a little bit better. We're starting to develop more. So I think in the coming days, it's very possible that we might see TNDM start running a little bit more. But if you're looking at the yearly chart, TNDM is right on resistance. This purple line right here, that purple line is the 200 moving average. And right now we're just at that 200 moving average. So today, I would expect to see a pullback on TNDM because we're right dead on resistance. And as you can see, we're kind of gapping down a little bit this morning right here. So I would look for a pullback and then maybe look for a long entry if the chart starts developing. But TNDM is definitely one that I'm going to be keeping on my watch list here in the coming days. And my possible entry for it would probably be right near this trend line, somewhere around here in this area. So it may not happen tomorrow and in a couple of days, but I think TNDM has the possibility of continuing to run here in these couple of days. I haven't looked at the news. This is strictly just charts and technical trading that I'm looking at right now. So I do think we have that possibility to see TNDM continue to run here in these later days. Now, let me continue. Another one we're going to take a look at is CNET. So CNET, this is kind of, did it get news? Did it get news the other day? Let me check. Was that yesterday? Yesterday is 4/11. There was no news yesterday. Okay, yep, so I know what happened, right? This is actually what I refer to as a washout long strategy. I missed it, but this is essentially what we're seeing is what we call washout long. Right, stock was super high back in these time frames, right? Stock went really high, and all this was right here is a bunch of people shorting it down, and now we're seeing a cover pop. So this really isn't buying pressure. It's more so a squeeze from short sellers, but you know, it's possible that, you know, this could continue running today. So we're going to keep CNET on our watch list today, just in case, because it might continue to run. It's not the prettiest chart. You know, it's high, or, you know, yesterday's high day is at 275. We're all the way down to 240. So it's possible. This one's like, you know, this isn't the best stock to look at today, but it's possible this might start moving. So watch CNET. Again, this one's possible, but not the best, right? So we're going to keep CNET on our watch just because, you know, it's possible that the hype and the momentum from yesterday can carry over today. But again, this is more of just a short squeeze and a cover pop and followed by some momentum trading. There was no news yesterday to drive this price either. So think about that. Next one on the list is Sprint. So Sprint is back into talks with T-Mobile. They're back doing some talks about maybe partnering up again. They were doing this a while ago, and their stock did the same thing. It squeezed all the way up, and it started running. So we're just going to watch Sprint. Again, this one's a little bit easier to probably play. This one I'd have a better outlook on than CNET, just because it kind of has a defined area right here at about 620. Right, you can see that 620 was kind of a definable area where the stock was having resistance. So today, that could very easily be a nice entry point right over 620 if it wants to continue higher. So we'll keep Sprint on watch for a possible long over 620 today. All right. And then on the list here, now we're going to step into some higher price stocks, which would be the SPY. This is not a stock, it's an ETF, but look at this chart, right? Not this one, we'll do a 180-day chart. So finally, for the first time in a couple days, or actually more like a week, we're starting to see some like relevant trend developing, right? And we're focusing on this area on the chart right here. That area. Actually, that's incorrect. We're focusing just right there. It still doesn't look that good, does it? Right there. So that's the area that we're focusing on. And if you pay close attention, you'll see that it's starting to perform in a bullish pennant. Right? We're uptrending. We have a little bit of a downward. Oop, didn't want to do that, did I? Nope. Right. So you can kind of see that we're uptrending here, but we're also downtrending here. So we call that as a bullish pennant, essentially. But I don't necessarily consider it a bullish pennant because we are at the bottom of a downtrend. So it's possible we're reversing. But long story short, don't want to confuse anybody. This is what's either going to happen. So in the coming days, this is exactly what's going to happen with the SPY. We're either going to go like this, and we're going to get into the corner of this pattern, and we're going to squeeze up, or we're going to do the same exact thing, but instead of going up, we're going to go down. Obviously, there's one of two ways it's going to go, either up or down. But the focal point that you want to pay attention to is going to take place right in here. It's either going to happen today or tomorrow, possibly on Friday. But by Friday's time, by the end of the week, we should have picked, if technicals play out and things don't get irrational, shall I say, by Friday's time, we should have a direction on the market, and it should either be going up or it should be going down. I know you guys are like, well, no, like obviously it's either going up or down, but what I'm telling you is that we have about 3 days time before we should have a movement either up or down. And when I say movement, it should be a stronger movement because we've just been rallying back and forth for the past couple of weeks, right? We've been going back and forth and we haven't really picked a direction, right? So sooner or later, the Bears will win or the Bulls will win, and it's coming soon within, I think, the next 3 days. All right. So what does that do for me? That means if this thing starts breaking up, I'll probably be short biased on stocks or tickers like TVIX and UVXY. I'll mention Tesla real fast. So if you look at Tesla, not this chart, but let's do this one. Oh, not that one. What am I doing? What your day? Yeah, Tesla is kind of in a cup and handle pattern, as I said the other day. So watch that one for a long. But yeah, I mean, I'll end it there. I don't want to go too much further on some things here. Personally, I think, let me go back. So if I had to pick the direction on the market myself, if I had to pick the direction on the market, which way do I think it's going to go? All right, because it can change so fast. Your bias can change so quick. But let's see. If I had to pick which direction do I think we're going to go? It's a tough one. It's tough. I think we're going down. It's possible we still go up, but I personally, I think we're going to go down. Yeah, I think we're going down. That's me. One second. Yeah, right now, actually, Rockhiff did say something. Right now, I would be short bias on TNDM, but possibly long bias in the next couple of weeks for TNDM. Let's see. Sometimes I swing gold. Don't really mess around with oil too much. So yeah, everyone go ahead, give me a like down on the video. It would really help me out. I appreciate that. So if you want, you can shout out a few stocks. We got about 10 minutes here. I'll go over some of the stocks you guys would like me to look at. Please, please, please try and present stocks that have value and volume. AA. All right, let's see. AA. AA. Here we go. What is it? Oh, I think we were looking at this one yesterday in our room. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, AA, for example. I don't know what's going on with the news. I'm just going to go based on technicals. But we have had a really good run up on AA over these past couple days. We do have earnings coming up on 4/19. The last time we had earnings, we gapped down, and then prior to that, we had to move down. Okay, so last time we had earnings, AA gapped down. So all you have to know right now, based on technicals, is AA is coming into some pretty strong resistance areas. So I would be right now, based on technicals, I would be more short bias right now on the particular stock. We're starting to gap down this morning. Yep, I would be a little more short biased on AA this morning. Okay, BZUN. BZUN. Okay, so BZUN, I would automatically be short biased because it is up towards 52.33, which is the 52-week high. If you look at the one-day chart, you'll see that it crashed really hard after rejecting right off of the 52 area. And if you also look, this could be the start of what we call a double top pattern. So I'd be more short biased on BZUN for the moment. This is purely technicals. I'm not reading news. There's nothing to do with fundamentals. Everything I'm doing here is just strictly technical trading. As BZUN. VHC. Oh, we didn't cover VHC. I apologize. That's something I did want to talk about this morning. So VHC was and may still be the leading gap for this morning. There's news that basically Apple has demanded or something like that to pay $500 million for the 4 infringing patents that VHC has. Basically, back in 2010, VHC said, hey, Apple is basically using our patents in their iMessaging and iVideo thing, and now Apple is agreeing to pay $500 million for it. Their stock is up, but I don't necessarily see this doing much today. It might, so keep it on watch just in case, but I'm not a big fan of this really. CNX. Okay, we still have some volume here. That's good. Ooh, that's a nice U-shaped pattern. Okay, so yeah, it's possible here that we are starting a cup and handle pattern on CNX because you can see here, look at this perfect U shape, right? That's a really nice U-shaped pattern taking place. It doesn't mean it's going to cup and handle. So this is the way you look at it right here. That's resistance. So we're coming up into resistance. So it's normal to see that CENX would start pulling back a little bit because this is resistance right here, right? That there is resistance. So it's normal to see this start pulling back. But when it starts pulling back, we're going to start forming the handle, right? This is the cup. If it does start pulling back, we're going to see the handle, and then we might break out like that, right? Or what else could happen is it could obnoxiously just continue higher, but that's less likely. It's more likely to see this, right? It could do that, more likely to see that, all right? And then if you look at the one-day chart, it's up pretty big. Okay, so watch it. Just watch it right now. It's got some steam. 20 to 18. Okay, yeah. So possible cup and handle pattern on CNX. Ford. Ford has no volume, really. Wouldn't mess around with trading Ford. CASI. CASI starting to die in volume. It's up really big. I would be more short biased for right now, or actually either short biased or neutral, right? So either neutral or short, not long right now on CASI. Did I not do PFIE? I didn't go over PFIE, did I? So yeah, PFIE is on my watch list for a potential long trade as a penny stock, but right now it's up pretty big. I would like to see a pullback, but just real quick, I'm not going to go over too much, but keep PFIE on your watch list for a lower price penny stock that could continue grinding up here this year. Just real quick, PFIE. 8:56, a couple minutes left. RGNX. RGNX, I would be more short bias on, considering we're coming up into major areas of resistance. Every time we got to, right, run there, one there, one here, and every time it hits that, it ends up going down. Right, so I'd be more short bias on RGNX now, or selling FNJN. FNJN has no volume. PFIE. Oh, where did I go? That's weird. I just jumped. LODE is extremely low on volume. It only had one good day yesterday. Not going to really. I mean, this one you could. All right, let me rephrase that. This one is really low on volume, but this could be the start of something. So maybe you want to watch it, but probably not the best to watch. Netflix. Okay, Netflix. I never look at Netflix, but let's see what's going on. See, now Netflix is going to be a little bit harder to really determine because, well, it's such a big stock. There's so many things that can affect it. I would be short-term long biased right now. Would I? I'm neutral on. I would be neutral on Netflix. There's not really any clear pattern. It's kind of just so I wouldn't really, for me at least, I would be neutral on Netflix. CALI, I would already be. It's hard to say what I would be on that. Really? CALI. Yeah, I had that pump dropping out. You could. I wouldn't mess with that. That's probably not your best bet. Nah. Nope. Too low on volume. If things don't have volume, there's no point in trading them. For swing Fortune 500 CMI. Okay. Ooh, $162 a share. Yeah, you said possible swing trade. Yeah, I agree. That's not a bad swing opportunity because you can see here that it's consolidating, right? So you have a clear defined risk level at about, well, yeah, it depends on, well, your risk level is clearly defined at 155, but the price is already 160 and there's a $5 spread. Yeah, it's a little challenging. Yeah, but I see what you mean. That could be a good swing trade, but the spreads are huge and your risk level's kind of far now. But yeah, I can see what you mean. That's not a bad idea for a swing there. 859. All right, so all right, that's all I got time to go over here this morning. Alrighty, guys, that's all I got for you here this morning. So I hope some of that helps. I do appreciate a lot of the stocks you guys recommended today. I can tell, I don't know if how many of you guys are reoccurring viewers or if this is your first time, but when it comes to having me look at some stocks, at the end of the video, we're primarily going to do some technical look, and we're not going to dump into news because we don't have time to go over news, right? Just going to do things on a technical support resistance pattern standpoint. But today was good. Today was awesome. I really liked a lot of the stocks that you guys mentioned because, like I said, I don't know if most of you are reoccurring viewers, but I can see that a lot of the stocks mentioned today were of better value, more volume. Not saying that you weren't mentioning penny stocks, but the ones you guys were recommending were of higher value and better to trade today that I've seen these past days. So maybe that's me rubbing off on you. Whatever it is, whatever you're doing, keep it up because it's showing. I can see just by the stocks you guys recommended today that there is, you know, something's working. I don't know what you're doing at night, if you're dreaming about it, but whatever you're doing, the stocks were definitely, the recommendations to look at today were definitely better. So I do got to give you guys props on that. So thank you guys once again for tuning in. I got to get back to my live trading room and our premium members. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Please remember to give me a like, share, subscribe if you see value. And then also we will be doing a sale for our trading course and our live trading room. So you can join me live throughout the day towards the end of the month. Not sure which day, but you'll know about it. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Take a look in the description box, Facebook group, chat room, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow morning. Peace.